5. Can't believe we're on episode 5 already. Thank you for tuning in. Also, I appreciate the support, the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribes. It's always appreciated. And today we'll be discussing how to maximize your credit score. I think it's extremely important and also one of my favorite topics to discuss. And let's get into it. For a quick overview, let's just discuss the 3 major credit bureaus that our bills report to every single month. We have Equifax, we have TransUnion, and we also have Experian. These are the 3 you want to focus on, and it's super easy nowadays to get an overview of what your score is with using apps like Credit Karma. I think that's one of the most popular ones. It's free, and you can just log in, put in your information, and it gives you your scores and a quick overview of the accounts, the loans, and all the information that you need to get on the right track. Before diving deeper into our credit score, let's just understand the things that are not reported to the Bureau. Things like your rent, phone bill, utilities bill, these things are not reported unless you default on that promise, aka not paying either of these 3 things will lead to go into collections, and then that bad activity will report to your credit report and cause your credit score to go down drastically. I think it's important to understand how to read your credit report, so I wanted to focus on the 2 main accounts that you see when reviewing it. You'll have your installment loans, which is like your car loan, your student loan, and also you'll have your revolving credit, which is like your credit cards. For your installment loans, it's pretty much a promise to pay back a loan that was given to you in installment payments over the course of X amount of years. And as far as revolving credit, that's different because with credit cards, you're given this credit limit infinitely, as long as you don't default on the payments, of course. I want to focus on the revolving credit side because it's the one side that fluctuates the most. For your installment loans, as long as you're paying them on time, as long as you're being consistent and keeping that payment history clean, you'll definitely see your credit score increase over time and consistently. But for revolving credit, I found when I was building up my credit score that if I handled it a certain way, handled my credit card balance a certain way, I would see a dramatic increase in my score. My recommendation for a credit card utilization rate would be at 10%. And I say 10% and not the typical 30% that you may have heard of, because I found that the 30% felt like an extra burden when I was on my credit score journey trying to increase it. So for example, if you have $5,000 as a credit limit, your balance should never go over $500 using my recommendation of 10%. I find that was really more manageable. Can you imagine using the 30% method and you have a $5,000 credit limit and you are trying to keep your balance at $1,500 or less? It just seems more overwhelming. It seems less tackable. That's even a word. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of it. And also this video is about maximizing your score. So I found that my credit score drastically increased when I kept this low, under 10% credit card rate. So I would recommend once you get it at 0, to keep it at 0. I mean, you want to keep using it. That's another last tip. You want to use your credit card because you don't want to close it down, because when you close down a credit card, you lose that credit history. So the top 4 things that are most impactful to your credit score are the payment history, the credit card utilization rate that we just went over, your negative accounts that I'm gonna make a separate video on because it just deserved to have its own thing, and your credit history. As I explained before, do not close down your credit card accounts because it is definitely not a good thing, because you lose that credit limit and also you lose that history, which affects your credit score. I definitely made that mistake with that store credit card that I told you guys about, that I'm salty about, and I closed it, not realizing that it affected my credit score because I don't have that history anymore, and I also do not have that credit limit. At the beginning of this year, I received an alert that my credit score increased, and I opened it up and I was at 800, and I was super excited, and I was like, oh wow, this is cool. I never crossed my mind to even get to that level. Then I started thinking further, and I'm just like, that's not really my goal, because my goal is to maximize my cash flow, because I have this great credit score, but at the same time, I still have my student loan debt on there, which is taking a monthly payment. And I'd rather just not have that at all. So I would be satisfied if I had that score and no debt. So that's what my goal is. I hope you guys were able to take some tips from this video today. I'll also be making a part 2 because there's so much to cover when it comes to a credit score, and I was only able to tackle a little bit today. So I definitely will make another video for that because I didn't want this one to be super duper long and it would just be overwhelming. So going forward, I just want you guys to understand not to stress so much over this 3-digit number. Once you get into like the good or even the excellent range, at that point, just focus more on your spending and your lifestyle, understanding how to maintain that good credit score. Because you don't want to just fixate over this number and make extremely high 700s, then all of a sudden you go back into old spending habits, because you have to train yourself to have like this financial well-being lifestyle. And that's why I wanted to stress to you guys. And that's why I thought it was important to share my experience, because if I share it with you guys, you'll understand that it's bigger than just these 3 digits. And before you go, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe below, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Bye.